Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Auraknot from Zentangle. Now, hopefully this will be a quickie. I think it will be. Just got done doing a couple sessions of teaching this. I have what I call Tough Tangle Tuesday, where we got to tackle some of the tangles that are just a little bit more involved, or just for whatever reason have caused me a challenge. So I just throw them on the Tough Tangle Tuesday that we do once a month. So if you are interested in classes, do check out my website. It's in the description section. You might have to, just depending, I've noticed lately, see, underneath the video, and it has the title, and then it has, like, my little picture and the, channel name, and then there might be where it says show more. It might show maybe the first line of the description or something like that. That's where you click that, and so that should open up the description box, and then you can see all of the other information there. The step outs for this, for more inspiration, which is going to be the Zentangle blog, where this, before it was even named, so where they launched this, and every once in a while they'll put out a challenge, for a name, like a contest. And if you have not subscribed to the Zentangle newsletter or blog, this is one from some time ago. What did I say? Was it 2012? I think. I think they've changed how they were doing it. But anyway, sign up for the newsletter. Sign up for their blog. You will be happy that you did. All right. So in my step outs, and actually you will notice, no, they're not anywhere else. It's just my step outs. Because there are some things that where the step outs aren't necessarily published by Zentangle. Just certified CZTs, have access to that. So my step outs are there. The first thing to notice is that, this can be like a star shape or whatever shape you want. You want to have at least 3 points. This one I'm going to do 4 points, but it can be whatever shape you want. I'm going to see if I can do this. Let's see. This is like for those that have been following me, I have some troubles with, strings, or what I call being spontaneously creative. And for this one, we're just going to do with what happens. And for me, honestly, this is part of the game of Zentangle, is working past some of these things that for me are a challenge. And one of them is just drawing something spontaneously. All right, so this looks okay. It will be fine. And, and so I encourage you, whatever you end up doing, just go with it. And then I want to show you some other things at the end here. Hopefully that will, if not inspire you, at least make you not feel so bad if you end up having a oops that, there's always a way around something. All right. So once you have your shape, and let me also add, these can be curved or they can be straight. Actually, even the top, if you want to have the top curved, you could do that. It's all up to you. All right. So the first step in doing this is we're gonna draw a straight line, because we're gonna skip. Let me back up. We're gonna skip this point as we aura. So the whole Auraknot is a practice in auraing and the halabow technique, which is the art of drawing behind. And I'll point that out as we do it. So, but we're drawing over, skipping this, going from here, if we call this point 1, skipping over point 2, and auraing point 3. So in order to do that, we need to have a straight line or so to aura. And it doesn't have to be a straight line. It can be curvy. You can do what you want. Okay, and now we're going to aura this straight line. And if you don't know what it means to aura, as you can see, it is just an outline. So trying, doing your best to follow the contours, or if you have a sharp edge, following that sharp edge, etc. Okay, then So this is done. And now I don't know if you're say I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed and you end up doing this on the other side, just go with it on the other side. I don't know if it really, I don't think it matters as long as you do on one side and then, stay going on that side. All right. And I sometimes remember to think, oh, I wonder what this is like if you're left-handed. If you are left-handed, I would love to know in the comments, if you have, particular challenge, or if you found, I need to modify this way or that way. Or maybe it doesn't matter because I'm just, it's like, it's just going to be on this side and it might not matter at all. I'd just like to know. Okay, so this was point 1 where we started. And just as a little tip, this is what some folks did on the call, and I'm going to do it right here. I'm just going to put a little pencil mark. That's where I started. Sometimes it's helpful. All right, so then we're just turning it to the next point. So now this is up. Same idea, except now we have to have this line to aura, but we're not going to cross over what we've already done. So using the hollabow technique, which if we were drawing this line fresh, we would pick up our pen, travel it over that space, put it down on the other side, and continue. But we've already done this, so you just kind of have to like, oh, okay, trace, this is where I think it would be, and just continue like such. But when we do the aura, that we're gonna have to, jump over that as well. So I'm gonna start here. We're gonna do this aura, and just put it down where you think it would land on the other side, and essentially we get that look of drawing behind. Same thing here. Once we get once around, so I got 2 more to go around. So again, here we're going to finish this off here, so that way we have that solid line to aura, although we're going underneath that, coming out the other side. All right, last one here. See, and this one, yeah, we just get to draw in between these two. So you have to start here where you think that would kind of line up, and then end as you would think it would line up here. And then we're auraing that line, making sure to jump over both of those. What I find tricky with the hollabow technique, the drawing under, is, that's why I always have my pen travel across, but just depending on the angle, that you're coming in and going off, sometimes it just takes a little bit of, just going slow and just, a little bit of care. All right, now we're back to where we started. So this is once around. Now we don't have to worry anymore about drawing those, that extra line, because it's already done. Now we're just auraing whatever that last line was. What I find helpful is, kind of tracing, okay, I'm mapping it out. Here's what I'm going to aura. So that way we're not taken by mistake, because I've done that where I've gone down a different path. And it's like, okay, well, that's not how it's supposed to be. And then making sure that we're, picking up the pen, and so that way we're using the hollabow technique and going under what we've already done. And then it's just turn. Same thing, kind of, okay, here's where we're going. Noting, some of the curves. And just continuing. Sometimes just going slow helps. This is where you can somewhat get into that, it's not a meditative state really, but you can just kind of get lost in this part, because it's just, you're going around, you're auraing, minding where you have to, pick up your pen, continue to go around, and just being careful, of those lines. Actually, sometimes it's helpful to have the lines meet. Again, watching where they go, and then also kind of being a little bit mindful of, as you can see, some of these little sections are getting a little bit small, and then that's when you might have decisions to make. Boy, this one is turning out. I've had 2 now that have turned out this way, where it's like, almost. Oh, and I'm back to where I started, so I'm going to go once more around, I think, since I started here. This is the second one that I've had where it seems like the points and the inside are kind of getting full at close to the same rate. Sometimes, actually I should say, for me, most of the time, that doesn't happen. Okay, so now I've gone, how many times? Let's see. And you can count the auras. 1, 2, 3, I've gone 4 times around. And so there's a point where you can decide, well, do I want to stop there or do I want to continue? Now, let me just share, if you wanted to continue, when this gets too full, what I have done, and you'll see in some of the examples where the inside is just enormous, then it's like, I just don't worry about this, but I will continue to aura where it fits in. So it's like, oh, it won't fit there. Okay, I'll put in here. Oh, and maybe there. And then, okay, we'll fit here, here. Oh, okay, I'll just skip that one. And so sometimes that's how you have to do it if you want to have this where you have it all filled in. But sometimes it's nice to have those little gaps. Now, shading is, if you even want to, because it does kind of look neat the way it is. There's a lot of different ways that you could do the shading. One way, let's see. Actually, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to color in this base. I'm just going to fill it in with some graphite. Oh, and you know what? I'm going to fill it in. Not necessarily dark on purpose, but sort of dark on purpose. And I'm going to smooth it out. But then I'm just going to take it up like this. Up those corners. So I'm not adding anything to the corners. You know, I'm not putting any graphite on. I'm just, you know, taking what's in here, kind of like a paintbrush, and taking it up there. That looks kind of neat. And then oh, you know what? Well, while we're on this, okay, so this is a completely different way. I hadn't tried this before. I'm glad I tried it. Okay, so now I'm doing the same in all of these little sections, because you could fill these in with you know, your pen or whatever. And I'm just going to take that up. And I'm not going, like here, I didn't go up to that outer one. I just stayed just under it. And not that you could go right up to the top if you want to. That's up to you. But I think this makes for a neat look. Ah, that looks cool. And easy. So let me show you some other things. Let me back up this camera. Because these are larger. Okay. So this was one. Oh my gosh, that's way large. There we go. Woo. Okay, let me hold that still. All right, so this was done on a Zendala. So mind you, this is a 2x2 bijou tile. This is, I think, 4.5 inches diameter, something like that. So this one, same idea, but I colored the backs, these little open spaces in with the pen. And also remember, if you need to have like some course corrections, if something didn't go quite right in like say these sections, so fill it in, and then nobody knows. Only you. And then this one, I added the graphite in a similar way, but I spread it out a little bit more. And I always like to call it makes it look metallic or shiny, especially when you leave the original tile color in there. And I did the same on all of the tips. Okay, then this one, I decided to put the graphite on the inside, you know, of the, you know, just so you see, this is kind of like that first aura, but I put it on the inside and spread it around. And then I thought, oh, well, that's really cool. So why not do it on the outside as well? And well, now I can't remember. I might have done it on the outside first. It doesn't matter. And then did it on the inside. But so I've gone on both sides of this, you know, first go around, if you will. And then decided to kind of take it up, you know, on, you know, each of the points as well. And you know, spread it just a little bit, just so we have that nice gradient. And I think that looks really cool too. All right, then tried it on black. And this one, you know, I did more of a curved corner, and then, you know, did the aura on the outside. First, I just did it on what would be the square, and I just did it on the outside, and this was on our last call, and then decided, oh, well, if I do the outside, besides that it would make it look neat and glowy, at the same time, then it carries through this, you know, the line, almost giving it like a Celtic knot-ish type of look. But anyway, so I was pretty pleased with that. Now this is where we, you know, I Now, if I just show this to you, you're just going to think, oh, well, that's really neat. Not knowing that, this was an oops gone right. That's what I call it. Because as I mentioned early on, I personally have challenged drawing the spontaneous stuff. Ooh, stop moving, camera. Actually, let me move this in a little bit. Sorry. Don't look if you get seasick. Okay, there we go. I just need to move it so it would stop rocking. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna hold my breath and just draw this, and I ended up with a square. I'm just letting you in on the background secret. And actually, if I get the replay posted, you'll see it right on there anyway, because I would never cut that out and rob anyone of the opportunity to say, oh, look at, see, okay, here's how we can course correct. And it's creative problem solving, and I love that about Zentangle. So, and I don't even remember which one it was now. It might have been, I don't know, it was either this one or this one. It doesn't matter. But so as I'm drawing, I'm like, okay, I'm making points all over, and I ended up with the square. I'm like, oh, great. Now what shall I do? And so, and my mom's, of course, on the call, and she's like, well, you could, just make it a point, and then we'll figure it out later. I'm like, well, that's true. So I'm like, okay. So I drew in the point, kind of like started here and came out. And then it was like, well, yeah, we can just square all of those points in. And, and if I hadn't have told you, you wouldn't have known, right? So then we decided to have fun and add some color and just have a grand time with this. And I still think there's some more I want to maybe, do some pattern or something, or not. I haven't decided yet. I'm just going to just kind of let it sit for a little bit and look at it. And because as a good friend of mine says, if you're not happy with it, it just means you're not done yet. And thanks, Diane. I love that saying. But anyway, so I just like to share that because I think a lot of times we get really hung up on doing something, either right or being a perfectionist, and wanting to, I want to do this perfect. Well, in Zentangle, there's no such thing as perfect. Of course, like I like to replicate things. So then, of course, then there is that part that says, but I didn't do it exactly like they did. And then I remind myself, there's no such thing as a mistake. That's not the point of this. If you replicate it and it's close, then great. And you put your own spin on it, great. And there are those that I don't, that don't want to have any part of replicating. They're just like, ooh, I like that pattern. I'm going to put my own spin on it. And then they just go to town. So I love that it's for everybody. I like to share my story because I am not an artist, and I know that there are a lot of people that like to watch that are also not artists, but we can do amazing things with this art form, and that's why I'm excited about it. I am just continually amazed. Actually, I think I'm more amazed that I got this on this little bijou tile. I have to admit, I did use a Micron 005, somewhat because I'm on my last 01, and I'm like, well, that's small. I think I would feel comfortable using that 005, and it turned out really nice. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you give this a try. If you try it and don't be discouraged at the first try. This one might take a little bit, rewatch. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments, or, come on to a Tangle Time or send me an email. Again, my information is in the description section. And if you really did like the video, I would love to have a thumbs up. I appreciate those a lot, as well as subscriptions. If you haven't subscribed yet, would love to have you as a subscriber to the channel. And if you do that, make sure you hit the notification bell next to it, so that way you can decide how you want to be notified, if you want to be notified at all. And with that, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I have fun sharing these, and I know from the other comments that you enjoy watching them, and I appreciate that greatly. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. It just it brings joy to my day to share Zentangle and have fun with a lot of other people with it. So with that, again, thanks for watching. Happy tangling.